Practice these principles in all my affairs. What does that mean? Where does that come from? What does that look like? Practice these principles in all my affairs. Hey world, hey brothers and sisters, I'm Brother Paul, Universal Peace Officers, and I want to just share a little something we talked about at an AA meeting I went to this week. And we were talking about step 12, which says that as we have had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message and practice these principles in all our affairs. So we were looking at that today. What are the principles, and if we're supposed to practice them, we should be aware of them, and we've got to understand how our bodies and minds and spirits operate, how our conscious and our subconscious operate, and what do we do when things come at us in life. How do we respond to them? Do we react selfishly or do we respond spiritually? And I feel, and we all felt today, that if we can understand what those principles are that tie in with the 12 steps, and we make a conscious effort to be aware of those in the situations that arise, we have a better chance of putting a good foot forward for God and for loving on other people by just being a little bit more considerate of everything that's going on with the people that we interact with. I want to share the steps and the principles that go together. And, sometimes I think that people like myself who are in recovery, who have gone through the steps and found some success in recovery by working the program and taking the spiritual action, we found that we have tools that were primarily designed to help us to quit drinking and drugging, and what they've turned out to be are tools that allow us to manage life and to be productive members of society, and have taught us a skill set that we may have never really been aware of or considered. So sorry, not sorry that those of us that are in recovery have a set of tools that help us and guide us, because we're unguided and we need direction. So these are some tools that we use to help us kind of follow on the right path and see where God's trying to direct us. But I just want to kind of read through these real quick. So those of you guys who are in the rooms, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. Those of you that are not, hopefully there'll be some things you can glean from this, because I think this is a good tool for all of us to use to understand what the principles are that we in recovery try to follow and how it helps us to manage our lives. Step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol or drugs, and our lives had become unmanageable, and the spiritual principle there is honesty. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, and that is hope, is the spiritual principle. The third step is we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him, and that is faith. Step 4, we made a fearless and thorough moral inventory of ourselves, courage. Step 5, we admitted to God, to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. That's integrity. Step 6, we were entirely ready to God remove these defects of character. We had willingness. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings, humility. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all, love. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except where to do so would injure them or others, discipline. Step 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Perseverance, and I've seen discipline as another one of the principles listed for that step. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand, and praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. That's listed as spirituality, and another list it says awareness. And then step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So those are some 12 guidelines that we use in Alcoholics Anonymous when we can sit still long enough to realize the principles that we have learned through going through the program provide valuable tools and lessons for us in life. And again, those principles are honesty, hope, surrender, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, responsibility, discipline, awareness, service. So take some time. I'm going to kind of share that with you here if I can, just so you guys can kind of see those spiritual principles. But take some time, guys, to just ask God to guide you and show you and and be your default mode is to go to God and be love and kind when things happen, and try to respond spiritually to situations instead of reacting selfishly. Guys, remember to take care of your mind, body, and spirit, and get grounded with God, and get centered, get connected. The world's nuts, it's crazy, it's wild, so we got to make an effort to stay sane and be peacemakers and share love and light with those around us. God, that's my prayer for everybody today, that we're able to do that. Take some time and consider you and your ways as we go through life, and try to practice the spiritual principles that you have given us in all of our affairs, so that we can be a vessel and help your love and light shine through us. God, fill me with peace, love, and compassion. God, fill my family and friends with peace, love, and compassion. Fill all the earth and all the world with peace, love, and compassion. God bless America. Peace officers, out.